Hey everyone, welcome back to another Router Guides video. My name is Humphrey. We're going to cover the first 3 days of Duke Language School here in Bangkok. We're covering Explore 1. Explore 1 is the 4th class in their 9-class series. So I just finished up Journey 3 last month. I took a month break. I went up to Chiang Mai, went to Singapore. So we started on a Wednesday and then we have just finished on a Friday. So the first 3 days. Just like in all the other classes, this is Monday through Friday for 3 hours a day for a total of 4 weeks or 60 hours. Let's talk about the books and the differences between this book, Explore 1, which is quite thin, versus Journey 3, which was a lot bigger. On the first day of class, you buy your books. It's 500 baht, and I was surprised about how small and thin the book was. And I kind of joked to the person I bought it from at the front desk, like, hey, it's so small, it's so thin compared to the other one. And she kind of smiled and looked at me and said, well, wait until your first week, and then you can tell me how small that book was. And she was right. This book is a lot more compact, so it's more dense because this class focuses on reading and writing. You're going to see that we have a lot of reading practice, a lot of writing practice. So you learn the first class of consonants like ko kwai or wa, po pan or wa wen, and you then start adding vowels to make them longer, to create syllables like wa and ka and pa. And then many of those syllables, many of those things that you're practicing reading and writing are also words, but they don't put that in the book. But what happens is the teacher will explain that the thing that you just said is the word for such and such. And so it's pretty interesting because now, rather than the book telling you the vocabulary, it's interesting because you are learning the vocabulary in a more direct fashion, and it's not taking up as much space in the book. Okay, let's talk about how precise your speaking is getting at this point. So in Journeys 1 through 3, there was a lot of leeway in terms of your vowel length, whether it's a short vowel, ah, versus a long vowel, ah. Also, the things with tones before, if you messed up a tone, if you messed up the vowel length, it wasn't a big deal. The teachers would kind of go with it. Okay, this is what you mean. That's cool. In Explore 1, you have to be much more precise. The instructors are not going to give you that leeway anymore because now you're learning how to read and write Thai, and you're able to say the tone marks correctly. You're able to say the vowel lengths correctly. Whereas before, everything was transliterated, so they kind of went with it like, okay, yeah, you said it wrong, but close enough. In this one is, if you say the vowel length too short or too long, and you said a different word, they're going to immediately correct you. They're going to teach you the individual letters directly, and there's 4 sets of consonants, class C1, C2, B, and A, I think it is. And we've already learned C1 and C2. And there's a couple mnemonics that they taught us, like yawning lemur. Yawning lemur means yo yak, wo wen, no nu, ngongu, lo ling, mo ma, and ro rua. And we are already done with chapter 2. We had our first quiz on Friday. So this is an extremely fast-paced class. And I think in terms of brain power and brain effort, this is a good 25 to 50% more effort than Journey 3. This is starting to feel like work. I mean, it's still fun, still learning a lot. All right, so we learn how to read and write the individual letters, the individual vowels, and then we form very simple 2 to 3 character syllables, and many times they're words. And then they start stringing them together to, I think the longest we've reached is something like 8 or 9 characters in a row. Now, Thai is interesting because there's no spaces in between the words. It just keeps going. I started also reading not by letter, like go gai, no nu, ma, like da, 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 and then trying to put it together. I've noticed that I've started looking at letters 2 in a row or 3 in a row in groups, kind of like how you would in English. In English, you don't, when you're first learning the characters, yeah, you sound out each one, but that's not how you read. The way you read is you're looking at the word or half of the word, and then it's a nice even flow. And the more that we do this, I noticed that we did the quiz on Friday. I breezed through that quiz. It was like, okay, I get this. This is not a bad deal. You learn the first 6 or 7 consonants and the first 4 long vowels, and you think you got them. And then boom, we're already on chapter 2, and we have to learn the next set of consonants and vowels. So it's like, oh, whoa. But there's no time to rest. It's basically you're being pushed off a cliff to learn the next set of lessons. And that gets us into breaks. So Duke does 10-minute breaks every hour. And whereas in Journey 3, when we took a break, like, okay, yeah, thank you for the break. In this class, we are begging for breaks. Like literally when it comes at the 50-minute mark or close time for a break, when we see other classes let out, we're like, can we please take a break? Like we really need a break. When it finally comes time to get a break, my God, it is well deserved. Okay, so how exactly are we learning the letters? Well, first, we will open our books and it'll have the individual letters, and the instructor will say the letter, and then we will do a couple practice runs writing in our book, and then she will walk around the class, and we have around 11 to 12 students, and she'll walk around the class and she'll, okay, that's right, that's right, that's right. And then there's listening practice. And listening practice will be, she will say a word or a letter, and then you're supposed to write what you think it is in the book. And then also what's really cool is we turn it around and she will hold up flashcards of an object or an animal or something. And then we are supposed to write what that is in the book or on a sheet of paper. And then also we do another flip around where she will hand us the flashcards, and then we will have to explain it in Thai to another student, and then that student will have to write it down. So it makes us practice the reading, the listening, the speaking part, and the explanation. I think there's probably a scientific or linguistic or teaching term for this. It's not just the instructor telling you what to write and you write it. No, you've got to turn it around and then explain it immediately to someone. You're engaging both the creative part of your brain by doing a little charades, doing a little acting, doing a little drawing, and then you're also engaging the study, the logical part of the brain by the rote learning type of stuff. But it's going much faster than what I had expected. I'm actually very surprised. 3 days in, we've learned the first 2 classes of consonants. And so that is around 14 or 15 consonants. We've also learned 4 or 5, so somewhere around 8 or 9 vowels. The long vowels, so somewhere around 8 or 9. So if you total that up, we've learned already 23 characters, and we're already forming both short words and full sentences. Student demographics, we have 11 to 12 students, and by the time of Explore 1, the students that are left are the hardcore students. In fact, I will probably say that majority of the students speak very good Thai. I mean, just like you pretty much, I think the way maybe Duke designs it is if you take someone from Journey 1 and beyond and you drop them into any Thai city with no English, they will do okay. There should be no problem with them surviving. So yeah, when I hear the other students speak, there are 3 other students that are from my Journey 3 class. And so they obviously did the same thing I did. They took a month break and then they came back. A couple of them, you would probably not distinguish them from a Thai person. They speak that well. Just like the other class, there are some interesting characters, and I'm doing something different in this class versus the other one. So in Journey 3, I pretty much kept separate from everyone else. There was no like meeting of other people and after class and stuff like that. I just like I was doing my own stuff. But in this class, what I'm changing with this class is I'm meeting other students away from class. Just from the first couple days we started it, and so I think that's probably going to help a lot in terms of study groups and just having more fun and getting to know people. But just a little change, and it's something that if you go to Duke, I suggest you do the same thing too. Is don't just be friends with your students during class. Meet up with them after class and exchange tips about Bangkok and Thailand. Of course, practice your speaking, but there's a lot of good knowledge out there from other people, and you might be surprised at how interesting many of these folks are. Okay, costs. Just like in Journey 3, class costs 8,000 baht for 4 weeks, 60 hours of instruction, and the book itself is 500 baht. And that's really it for the costs. Also, a couple times I've forgotten to bring my pen or pencil to class, and they sell pens up at the front desk for 10 baht. First 3 days are down. We got 17 more to go. All right, I'm going to give you another update. Well, the next update will come at the end of class, and we'll do something. I'll try to do something fun at the end of class. We'll do like a live reading or something like that, just so you guys can laugh at me to see whether I've wasted my money or not. But yeah, Humphrey with Router Gods here in Bangkok. Talk to you later. Bye.